Hey there, Mary Sheila here with BioYouth Labs, and I have been a nutritionist for almost 15 years now, or somewhere around there, and I've really honed in on the importance of the hormonal system, and a part of that is blood sugar. And blood sugar is so essential because, we're 70% water, and our blood is moving all throughout our entire body, and that is where we move nutrients around and sugar around from the foods that we eat, which becomes glucose at that point. And it's actually something that we need. The body needs sugar, but we don't need as much as we might be able to get in our standard American diet, right? Or the modern diet that a lot of us are eating with convenience and snack foods and sugary things and things that we crave and that are refined and processed, right? So we want to make sure that we are balancing that. And so a big part of the conversation then is on portion size, right? Portion size is still the way to go. And then what it means when we focus on portion size is it might not mean that we can't have anything, but it just means we have to pay attention to the quantity, right? The quantity and the quality. Portion size, so the portion that we choose for our proteins, our carbohydrates, our fats, really does play a significant role in managing blood sugar levels in our weight and our overall health. So it's really important that we understand how portion size can impact blood sugar and the benefits of practicing portion control. So I'll talk a little bit more about what that means and the benefits of managing our portion size so you can get started today. So when I talk about portion size, I'm referring to the amount of food you eat in a single sitting or meal. It can greatly influence the number of calories, carbohydrates, and other nutrients that you're consuming. And when it comes to blood sugar, let's talk about the size of what we're eating, because that's what really matters. So when it comes to carbohydrates, for people with diabetes or trying to stabilize their blood sugar or even trying to lose weight, it's really important to be aware of the carbohydrate content in your meals and in your snacks. Carbs have the most significant impact on blood sugar levels. So controlling the portion size of carb-rich foods can help prevent spikes in blood sugar. So let me explain a little bit about what I mean when I say carbs, right? So carbs are going to be mostly what we're talking about with the spikes of blood sugar from carbs. I'm not talking about the carbohydrates like salads or cucumbers or kale or broccoli or cauliflower. You can eat as many of those as you want. There could be something as too much, but generally you can eat as much of those as you want. I'm talking about grains and beans and root vegetables and winter squash, and then all of the processed foods that are made from that, like pasta and chips and crackers and breads and juices and sodas and cookies and crackers and cakes and candy, etc., etc., etc. So we have to be mindful of all of those carbs and the portion size, and we have to know that the quality does matter. So the first things I listed, grains, beans, roots, and winter squash, those are the quality that's going to be better for us. It's complex. It's not refined. All the other stuff I listed are processed, refined. They're going to hit our blood sugar much quicker, right? So if we are going to eat those things, which, hey, let's face it, we're all going to probably eat some of those sometimes, we definitely want to pay attention to the carb size or the portion size. But I know that's harder, or should I say it's easier said than done. And for some of us, we might realize, I just can't have chips in my house. I can't just eat a little tiny handful of chips or one cookie or one little, scoop of ice cream, right? We know we might not have that same control. So when it comes to portion size and it comes to the quantity, we have to sometimes make choices because I know I can't have chips in my house because I will eat them all, right? What is it for you that you can't have in your house because you will eat it all, right? Because sometimes we overeat, even sometimes if it's a healthy food. I might overeat beans, I might overeat rice. That's also going to lead to excessive calories and even excessive sugar in my blood, and that can contribute to weight gain. So when we maintain a healthy weight, that's really important and helpful for blood sugar control, especially if we do have diabetes or prediabetes or something like that. So here's the thing, when we can get down to the nitty-gritty of portion control, then that, especially of carbohydrate-rich foods, that can help regulate our blood sugar levels. It allows for more predictable and gradual increases in blood glucose, and it reduces those spikes and crashes. Managing portion sizes can help control calorie intake as well, and it makes it easier to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. This is important for blood sugar management, as excess body weight can lead to insulin resistance. Eating the appropriate portion sizes also encourages mindful eating and reduces the risk of overindulging, which can become a cause of blood sugar spikes and weight gain. Portion control also promotes a balanced diet that includes a variety of foods from different food groups. So this is going to ensure that we get a broad range of essential nutrients necessary for overall health. And when we are paying attention to the proper portion sizes, it will actually help you to feel satisfied after meals, especially when we are making sure we have proteins, we have carbohydrates, both starchy and non, and healthy fats. You're going to feel that satiety without overeating, which can help prevent excessive snacking between meals. Eating appropriate portion sizes also supports healthy digestion. Large meals, we can feel uncomfortable, we can have indigestion, might start coming up versus coming down, and we can have reflux. Might also make it hard to sleep, we feel sluggish, and we just don't feel good. So when you're paying attention to portion control, you're not going to be feeling horrible after a meal. Here's some great tips that you can use for helping you with portion control. So here's some great tips that I recommend and I do often in my own kitchen. You can use measuring cups and a scale, a food scale, to familiarize yourself with the recommended portion sizes. Read your food labels to understand serving size and nutrient content. Avoid eating directly from the package, as it's so easy to lose track of how much you've consumed. For example, let's say you really want some crackers with some hummus or cottage cheese or something like that. Measure out your hummus or cottage cheese. Hummus, measure out 1/4 cup. Cottage cheese, measure out either 1/4 or 1/2 cup. Then look at what the serving size of those crackers are. How many crackers is the serving size? Is it 7? Is it 5? Is it 12? Whatever it is, count them out. And then guess what? Put everything away. Roll up the cracker package, put it in the cupboard. Put your cottage cheese or hummus into the fridge. Put everything on a plate. Sit yourself down. Take a few deep breaths. Practice mindful eating. Savor every bite. Pay attention to hunger and fullness cues. And try to eat without distraction. Even using smaller plates, bowls, and utensils will visually trick your brain into thinking you're eating more than you are. Okay? So when you do all that measuring, guess what? You're going to start to, really pay attention to how that feels in your body, right? It's easy to lose track of how many crackers you had if you just open it, or how much hummus or cottage cheese you had if you just open it. You have no idea, right? And you likely may have overeaten, or maybe you even underate and you're going to be hungry an hour later, where instead maybe you don't want to be eating again, but then you find yourself hungry, and then who knows what you're going to grab the next time. Here's another tip around portion control, and this is also even like a little money saver. When you're dining out, consider either sharing an entree or asking for a takeout container to portion out a part of your meal before you even start eating it, right? I said that once. I made that recommendation on a radio show I used to do, and I remember my neighbor said, I heard that radio show you did, and I thought that was the dumbest idea. Like, bring a to-go container or ask for one at the beginning of the meal. Like, who does that? And he said, I started doing that though, because I kept thinking about it, and it makes me feel so much better when I leave the restaurant. I'm not overstuffed, and I have lunch for the next day. So it's a win-win, because it is hard when someone else plates your food. That's another tip, is plate your own food. Oh, thank you so much for this meal. Can I just put the food on my plate? Obviously, you wouldn't do that at a restaurant, but you can do that in your home. You can even do that at a dinner party if it feels appropriate, just to help you stay in alignment with how much you really want to eat. I have to do that a lot with my husband, because he's a little more physical than me during the day. He eats more than me, and I just don't want to eat as much as he eats, and he doesn't, have my eyes to figure out what's best for me. So in conclusion, managing portion sizes is a key aspect to blood sugar control and overall health, okay? When you're mindful of the amount of food you consume, you can better regulate your blood sugar levels, you support your weight management, and you promote a healthy and balanced diet. And, you can always also write things down as you eat them. You might be surprised, oh, if I eat that, I have to write it down. You might realize, oh, I am eating more. I am coming back for seconds. And you can start catching yourself in the act, noticing, and then choosing to do differently. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the BioYouth Labs community. I will see you soon in the next video, and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions or things that work for you when it comes to portion size. All right, have a great day. Thanks.